Alright, so got Ben in the sex corner tonight. Hey Ben.
Hi, Dusty. How are you doing?
Doing good, man. So basically, let's just start off. What is your sexual status right now?
I'm heterosexual. I'm a guy. I like girls.
Alright, and in terms of partners, how's that stand?
Pardon? Like,
How many partners?
none.
None.
I haven't had sex before yet.
Oh, okay. Virgin.
Yeah, pretty much.
Alright, awesome, man. So what influences you in being a virgin, or is that a personal thing?
Well, I guess in order to kind of like understand like why I haven't had sex before, I guess you kind of need to like go back a bit. When I was in middle school and high school, I grew up in a city called Diamond Bar, California. Diamond Bar is on the eastmost of LA County. It's about 40 miles out from Los Angeles. Diamond Bar is actually a pretty high-income area, so you usually see a lot of parents bring their students over there to go to school and whatnot. It's basically the place you go to when you have it made. But so essentially, when I was growing up in middle school and high school, I was surrounded by kids that usually came from high-income areas, from high-income families. And as such, they usually tend to prioritize intelligence and just integrity over
Right.
the typical American high school stereotype.
So you would find it easy to say that socioeconomic.
Socioeconomic status definitely had a part to do with it.
Okay.
In addition, you could also argue that culture had a problem, had a helping hand in this attitude as well, because Diamond Bar, California, is about 60% Asians.
Okay.
Yeah.
And in your Taiwanese culture, is it found to be taboo to have sex before marriage, or is that something that's not generally?
Well, see, like I'm only 19, right? I graduated high school a couple of years ago, and that's only a couple of years ago. I'm not sure about how taboo it is to have sex before marriage, but I will say that it's pretty frowned upon to have sex when you're in high school. I mean, I can't speak for every Taiwanese family or every Asian family for that, but I will say that my parents' reasoning is if I feel like I'm capable enough to have sex, then I should pretty much be independent afterwards, because like if I want to have sex, usually trying to get someone pregnant, etc. So that's their general mentality, and to be quite honest, I actually kind of agree with them on that.
Okay, so your parents have played a pretty big setting foundation wise on your bearing of wanting to have sex, correct?
Well, yeah. They set the foundation for it when I was in high school, middle school, and for that, I am actually very thankful for that.
Okay, that's fair enough. It seems like a lot of kids today don't typically go by what their parents have to say.
Yeah, I know it's kind of odd that way, but I'll tell you this. Like initially, I followed my parents. Like cultural ideal, like file piety and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
You follow the chain of command and whatnot. Over time, like as it became like older in high school, and like as I got into college, like it became less of a cultural thing and more of like basically like a moral standard for me.
Okay.
Like and for this, I guess I have my friends to thank as well, because like again, Damar more priority on like wisdom and having sex, how much pussy you got last night, etc. My friends are just pretty chill about it for the most part. Like I'm pretty sure like it's not a priority for them. Like this is not something we discuss very often,
Right.
if at all. So I mean, our priorities are elsewhere. Is basically about it. I have no reason to go around chasing tail,
So what is your current relationship with the opposite sex?
Well, I mean, despite not having sex, I should get along pretty well with the members of the opposite sex. I'm actually in a long distance relationship right now. It's been going on for about a year and a half, but this is with someone that I've known for like almost 3 times that long. Again, like I don't really engage in promiscuous sex, but I'm not against relationships in general. Otherwise, I mean, interactions with people of the female gender, like half my coworkers are female, my lab partners are female. In general, like we get along just fine.
How would you handle a situation where, say, that you did have a female who came on to you and wanted to engage in sex? How would you handle that, based on what you've told me?
Well, to be honest, like I would have to turn her down because again, this is a moral standard. Like this isn't some like, oh, I promised to my parents that I could just like I can just like turn a blind eye to because I'm like over 1,000 miles away from them. But like this is like a standard. This is like a standard for me. It's like I'm pretty straight edge in general. Like I don't get drunk very often. I don't do drugs. I don't smoke. Like I try to keep myself in relatively good shape despite my overall appearance. But yeah, I mean it's just a standard. Like I'll probably refuse her. Also, it's in my personal opinion that if someone's like that promiscuous and coming on to me, like having a relationship with said person probably would not be in my best interests as well.
And yes, you're probably correct about that.
Yeah.
Well, in your opinion, does the media have an influence on the way that we perceive sex, and has it had any bearing on the way that you will want to have sex one day?
Well, absolutely. I mean, the media tends to like over sexualize, like people of both genders, handsome guys, with the six pack abs, girls with big tits and whatnot.
Right.
But I mean, honestly, like I guess the reason, like, I guess like the influence from our friends and family kind of like overcame that influence with like advertisements and whatnot. Besides, like from a young age, I always learned to like take those ads with like a grain of salt, Like those aren't necessarily representative of like our actual society, People got different standards and whatnot. Otherwise, if we're talking about pornography here, then I mean, yeah, I guess that would have a bit of an influence as well, but it still does not change the fact that I also have like again that moral standard. Like I'll stick to it no matter what.
Right.
Yeah.
Have you ever had any want or desire to have sex with the same gender as you are?
No, not really.
All right. All right, Ben. Thank you very much.
That's no problem.
How do you identify your sexual orientation?
I personally identify as a straight heterosexual female that only likes guys forever and always.
Have you ever experimented?
I wouldn't consider it like experimenting, but a couple times at the bar, I have chicken pecked kissed one of my friends a few times.
So how do you know you aren't interested in the same sex?
Just because I wouldn't do it if I was sober. I wouldn't, like when I have like just gave like a little peck, it really was like no sexual attraction. It was like just, I didn't even think about it. I wasn't.
Do you think your gender stereotype has impacted your sexual orientation?
I would say it has greatly, just because like my mom has always dated guys, my grandma, my great grandma. I've never seen like anybody that's like super close to me date anyone out of like the male gender.
Would you consider yourself feminine?
Monday through Friday, I would consider myself not feminine, but like Friday night through Sunday, I would definitely consider myself feminine.
Who do you enjoy having sexual encounters with?
Well, I'm pretty open to everyone and anything. So I would say both male and female. When I was young, my parents got a divorce, and my dad was pretty open that he started liking men. So it kind of opened my eyes to the world as a more open and accepting place. So I guess you could consider me bisexual.
How do you identify yourself?
Well, I don't really like putting labels on things, so I guess if you had to put a label on it, I would identify as bisexual. Both girls and guys are okay with me, so.
When did you realize you identified yourself as this?
Well, when I was young, I was always liked boys, and I didn't really think anything of it. But when I came to college is kind of when I started experiencing these feelings. I've been in long-term relationships with guys, and after getting out of a relationship with a male, I kind of started experimenting a little bit. It started out just playful at parties and whatnot, and then I kind of realized that I wanted to explore that side a little bit more, so that's when it kind of happened in college.
Okay, so my first question is, when did you first realize you were a girl?
I guess I first realized I was a girl in kindergarten when we had to line up in girl and boy lines. So, yeah, I guess it was, we had to know what gender we were in order to line up accordingly.
Yeah, that makes sense. And so from that, do you think that there are any advantages or disadvantages to being your gender?
Well, there's the whole, women have a harder time finding a job because employers think they'll get pregnant at some point, they'll have to take time off, maybe paid time off, so maybe that disadvantage, and then also lower wages in some occasions, I guess, and just things in like the workforce, I'd say.
Okay. And so my last question is, do you think that society pressured you into staying your gender?
I don't think it pressured me into staying my gender or like being my gender, but I do believe that it kind of pushes us to do things that define, being a girl, like doing your hair, makeup, nails, and all that stuff. We're not into staying a girl.
Okay, so my first question is, when did you first realize you were a boy?
Well, I don't think there's a specific moment when you realize that you're a boy or a girl. I think that it happens pretty organically. When you're first learning language, people who are around you and talking to you pretty much assign you with one gender or another based on your biology. I think that it might change later on in your own mind, but I think that when you're first learning language, you are a boy or a girl based on your biology.
Okay. My second question is, do you think that there are any advantages or disadvantages to being your gender?
I think that in a free and open society, there really shouldn't be any disadvantage or advantage to being one gender or another.
Have you personally experienced any advantages or disadvantages?
Yeah, I think in this culture, there's some expectation of appearance for females that isn't exactly mirrored for males. So there's some less expectation. I don't need to put on makeup. I don't need to do my hair a certain way. There's less of a burden. But otherwise, no, I don't think so.
Okay. And then my last question is, do you think that society has pressured you in any way to maintaining your gender?
No.
You never wanted to be anything other than what you are, and you've never felt
Whether
pressured by society?
whether I wanted to be something isn't the important question here. The important question is whether I've been pressured, right? And I've never been pressured one way or another. I've always had a very open family. If I wanted to be gay, if I wanted to be transgender, I'm pretty sure they would have accepted me.
What about your friends or your different organizations that you might want to be a part of?
Some organizations might have had a problem, private organizations, but I wouldn't associate with them if I chose to change my sexual orientation or gender. So it's really hasn't been a problem.